What's up, guys? I'm Garrett.
And I'm Keith.
And today we're reviewing Relentless by Tim Grover.
For those of you who don't know who Tim Grover is, he trained Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, a whole bunch of people, right? Dwayne Wade,
Charles Barkley.
Yeah. I think Michael Jordan said that he signed him to a 30-day contract and he ended up staying 15 years. That's how relentless he is when it comes to training and going for excellence. So he sums people up into three categories, right? Cooler, a closer, and a cleaner. Basic principle of it is a cooler is good at what they do. A closer is great at what they do. And a cleaner takes it to another level. A cleaner defines it, right?
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
So good, I just have to say this. So coolers will eat whatever you feed them. Closers will order what they want and be satisfied with a great meal. It doesn't matter what a cleaner eats. They'll be hungry again in an hour.
So again, it's always never being satisfied. He talks about having a dark side, how your dark side makes you, and a lot of the things you achieve in life, it's because of who you are. People are always trying to change who you are. We're not saying go do anything crazy or anything like that, but your dark side makes you up. Stop listening to what people say and do what you know you need to do. There's way too many quotes in this book. We can spend hours just going over the quotes in this book.
Every page in this book, if I just open it up to a page,
every page in this book. I'm just going to start going right through. I love this book. I absolutely love it. If I could sit here and read the book to you, I would read the book to you. It is that good. There's nothing in it that's not impactful.
Hands down, one of my favorite books.
Absolutely.
Probably my favorite book. I think when we started reading it, we both read it like 4 or 5 times before we've come here to review it with you
5
guys.
or 10 times, easily.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start going through my list of quotes. Cleaners don't just do the job, they define the job. Right? It's not about having a good season, it's about being able to repeat it. Those who are never satisfied are relentless. I think there's one in here kind of like that. Something about that there's a difference between making it to the top and making it at the top. So when he's talking about Michael Jordan, he stepped into a situation where Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, it was easy for you. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. You know how hard it is to improve on Michael Jordan? Anybody can take your average athlete and bump them up and everybody sees success. Think about how much value you have to add to take a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, a Dwayne Wade, Charles Barkley, and make them better consistently.
That's relentless.
Yeah, it's not about having a season, it's about having a career. Other people have a good 2 or 3 years and oh, they're great. Michael Jordan, year after year, 6 rings.
Coolers have a great game. Closers have a great season. Cleaners have a great career.
Yeah. And I'm getting back to these. I'm just going to keep going through these. Don't think. You already know what you have to do. And you know how to do it. What's stopping you? Ridiculous. Success is all about dealing with reality. There's a whole bunch of in-your-face stuff about reality. What are you doing? You know?
And he talks a little bit about in there how reality is just chaos and your success is defined on just dealing with that chaos. And that's what cleaners do.
If you're just trying, losing is still an option. Really? That's all.
Did you try your best or did you do your best?
Right. You step on I love this, he gets very frank in the book, he doesn't tiptoe around anything. You step on the other guy's throat and you finish the fight. Don't tell anyone how you do it. They wouldn't understand, and they don't have to. I love it.
So I just want to interject there. So I think my favorite part about this book is it just gives you permission to be who you are, right? With no excuses, it allows you to be relentless in yourself and in your life to achieve your ambitions.
I'm driving, listening to this book, and I'd have to call him and I'd be like, dude, this book just gave me permission to be me, because I'm a totally different type of person. I've caught flack for it my whole entire life. This book felt like it gave me permission to be me. And this book tells you, stop asking permission to be you. That's what it did for me. It's time to trust what you feel inside, what you felt inside, and not what everyone else says. It's your name on the jersey. Remind them who you are. Go get what's yours. Get what's yours. I love it.
So the majority of the book he's talking about basketball, because the majority of his training is around basketball players. I mean, I'm not a huge sports fan, but man, I'll tell you, this book, it gives you a huge appreciation for the game and what those players, the top players, actually do to achieve where they are. Even if you don't like sports or basketball, you need to read this book. Everyone needs to read this book. Buy a copy of this for your parents, give them a copy of it, because it's money.
And talking about being relentless, to truly be relentless. For the sports fans, you think about it, the closers, they'll come in and have a huge game, or at the very end when the game's on the line, those closers will come in and hit the winning shot, catch the winning touchdown, whatever it happens to be. And Tim S. Grover is like, great, where were you last night? Because when you are a cleaner, every day, every minute, you are there.
It's
You'll
not
always
game
put
time.
yourself-
It's
yeah.
always game time.
It's always game time. There is no punch out and go home. There is no okay. You talked about the NBA lockout. I was just thinking about that.
Yep.
The NBA lockout years ago, and all of a sudden the season starts back up again. And all of those coolers and closers, they're out of shape. They're not prepared.
They weren't training because they didn't know when the season was going to start. When you got people like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, they don't stop training.
They don't
So-
stop.
So when they say, hey, game time, they're good to go.
Talk about, I don't want to skip over things. There's too many things in this book. There's too many things in this book to bring it all up.
Yeah.
Talk about being in the zone. What puts you in the zone? He talks about being in that zone. He's also very hard on people saying, oh, they're driven or they're ambitious or whatever. No, you do what you need to do all the time. All the time.
There's just so many good quotes in here.
Yep.
But he talks about, he's like, 3 things you'll never hear me talk about in a good way.
Oh, there you go.
Inner drive, passion, and whether the glass is half full or half empty. They all translate to, I thought about it and I did nothing. What the hell is inner drive? Inner drive is nothing more than thought without action. Internal wanderings that never hit the pavement to go anywhere. Completely worthless until those thoughts become external and convert to action. What good is the drive on the inside? Where are the results? People who preach inner drive are dreamers with a lot of ideas and a lot of talk and zero production. They tell you everything they're going to do and they never do anything. That's inner drive. And then he says, let's move on.
Like I said, you could just read from the book. There's nothing in here that is not completely just lights out. It's
This whole
amazing.
book is fire.
Relentless is leaving no details to chance. Do what you do every day so you never have to account for the environment or the situation. Everything stays the same. If you are constantly prepared, so think about this in your real estate business. If you're constantly prepared, you're leaving nothing to chance.
Mhm.
You are going in knowing the outcome. You're going in knowing what you need to do. When something comes up, when something throws you a curveball, you've practiced how to fix it, how to get around it so many times, it's just natural. You don't have to think, what things in my arsenal, what scripts do I need, what objection handlers do I need? You've practiced them so many times, you're just there. You're
just
in that
always in
zone.
the zone.
You're just
And
always there.
He tells a story, Michael Jordan was in the locker room with his teammates, and one of the teammates goes, bring your A game today. Michael Jordan goes, bring your A game? Bring your game.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. You're always on.
Yep. All right, so he talks a lot about what hampers us and what kind of brings you down, and of course how to get past it and all that. One quote, for humans, the cage is made out of bad advice and low self-esteem and bullshit rules.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, because we all know, we know what to do. We know exactly what to do, and we know how to get where we're going. You built yourself into a cage. We all do. You've put yourself in this situation where other people's advice, other people's thoughts, their impressions of you, all bring you down. Get rid of it. That's the cage you're in. Get out of it. Who cares what they think? Go and do what you do, and
Yep.
do it the way you do it. Like you said, it's your name on the jersey. Go.
And he talks about, I was listening to it again this morning, he talks a lot about, we hear it all the time in the real estate business, get comfortable being uncomfortable. He says, and it just resonated with me when I was listening to it, because when we talk about lead generation and you start getting behind on your tasks that you need to do every day, he said, do something every day that makes you uncomfortable. Because every day you don't, the next day you're going to have to do 2 things that you're uncomfortable with. And the day after, 3 things. And the day after, 4 things. You need to do those uncomfortable things every single day because they will add up and it will just weigh you down. And I just need to read a quote here. He's talking about his training camp because he just destroys everybody that comes in his training camp because that's what he needs to do to make them great, right? He says, I'm not going to make it comfortable. Why should I? Comfortable makes you good. We're going for unstoppable. And there's a price to pay for that. Do you want to be unstoppable? Do you want to be good? Do you want to be great? Or do you want to be relentless?
He said something, I won't be able to quote it, something about if you want a story about a trainer bringing somebody up and making them happy, wonderful, and all the success and all that, go watch Rocky. Mm-hmm. Then he talks about, he goes, I have an athlete sitting there who throws up and passes out on the ground. He goes, I'll check you, make sure you're still breathing. Then I'm walking away to do something else. Mm-hmm. After that, when you come to, clean up, come and get me, we'll go back to work, and we always go back to work.
Yeah.
He's just over the top relentless. There is no time for anything else. There is no time for anything else. I love it. I love it. Oh, look, I mean, half of these I'm bringing up. Drop all the bullshit and do what you do the way you do it. I love it. Clutches, this is something you were saying, clutch is about the last minute. Relentless is about every minute. So
right.
Clutch play, people remember clutch plays, the big catch, the big whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
Relentless is every minute, all
There's
the time.
no clutch gene, is what he talks about. He's like, people aren't clutch. Either you're on or you're off.
I have to say this. If you ever find me and a bear wrestling in the woods, help the bear. I love it.
He's such a badass.
I love it.
Tim Grover is just an absolute badass.
I love it. So getting in the zone, your dark side. He talks about people. There's a difference between your dark side controlling you and you controlling your dark side. If you can't control things in your life, then you have to. He's like, you have to get help. And he tells people, if this is what's bringing, you need to go and fix this. If there's something that's unpopular and it's putting you in the zone, do what you need to do to be put in the zone. Because once you're in that zone, you're relentless. And we talk all the time, just personally, about how to get in that zone. Like, what do we do? We're always like, man, I was on fire at that appointment and all that. And then you go on another one and you just kind of going through the motions. What puts you in that zone where you're not going to lose? Nothing is left to chance. You're rehearsed, you're confident, you know exactly what you're doing. You need to find that.
And you need to figure out what those buttons are. And he says his goal as a trainer is to pull those buttons out so the player can see them, and then they're able to hit them for themselves.
So they know
they
where
can
to
put
find
themselves right in the zone, and they can give themselves that predatory instinct that they have.
Absolutely. I could go through this whole entire book and just keep reading.
There's one other part here, and this just kind of hit me because the first time I read this, I just had a conversation with somebody. Because I mean, you and I work all day, every day, right? I don't take days off. I don't really take vacations. And someone had told me, like, you know, I get it all the time. You know, you need to unwind. You need to take some time off. And I just need to read this quote because to me, this just resonated with me. It said, "Never ever do you go through a day thinking that was relaxing. To a cleaner, relaxing is something weaker people do because they can't handle pressure. Put him in a situation where he's supposed to be relaxed, such as a vacation he didn't really want to take or a day he doesn't have to work out, and he'll actually become more stressed thinking about what he should have been doing. He'd rather deal with a challenge than put the effort into unwinding. He likes being wound." And that just hit me, man. You know, I hear people all the time like, "Dude, why do you work so much? Like, you should just unwind." I'm like, what else am I going to do? I want to work. I want to be here. I want to be doing these things. And another quote in here that I don't even know if you had it written down. He says, "Not everyone has the opportunity to be stressed out reaching for their success."
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. Like when we talk about raising your level of problems, like I'll complain to you about things sometimes, and it's like, that's a pretty good problem to have.
Yeah.
Like, oh shoot, you got to fit 5 listing appointments into one day. That's a lot of stress, but that's opportunity. That stress is opportunity that other people will not have because they didn't do what it took to get to that point in their business.
And let's be real, in real estate, people take this career on because of whether it's flexibility, whether it's, you know, working for yourself, all of that. So I do understand that that is the way a lot of people view our industry, and it's true, and it's a great way to have flexible hours. This book,
We're not
to
talking
me,
about good.
Yeah.
We're not talking about great agents.
We're talking about
unstoppable
agents, and that's the thing. When I read this and you read this, we were talking like, dude, this is. Oh, we get flack all the time. Again, why are you working so much? Why do you do that? Blah, blah. This is what we do. This is what we do, and this is. I feel uncomfortable when I'm all right. Yeah, we'll go and do this. My head is where I want to be, and where I want to be is working towards what we're building. You know, I mean, we're building a lot of stuff all the time. And this just gave me, again, it's about don't ever ask permission to be you. This book made me realize that it's permission to be me.
Yeah, everyone needs to read this book.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it goes without saying, we didn't even have to discuss what we're rating this book.
But no, there was absolutely no discussion about this book.
No discussion.
And if you want to know why we're rating it the way we're rating it, read this book and tell us.
Everyone needs to read this, seriously.
Yeah.
So, that goes without saying, this book gets a 5-star rating.
This is 5-star all day long for me. I could not put it down the 10th time. I couldn't put it down the 10th time. I just read it over and over again. I was mad. I left my earbuds somewhere, and I had to have someone bring them to me. I couldn't listen to the book on the way in.
You can listen to this thing over and over. And every time you turn it on, it's not like some of those books where you'll enter a part of the book where it's like kind of boring and you're not getting anything out of it. I don't care where you go to in this book, whatever page you open it to, it's money and it's fire and it's mind blowing.
I'm going to read my last one. Fuck try. Try is an open invitation to failure. Did you try your best or did you do your best? You said it before, it needs to be said again. Absolutely love that. All right, so this is a 5-star. Love it. What are we reading next, by the way?
Next, we're going to be reading Influence by Robert Cialdini.
Influence. I haven't read that yet. I started reading part of it. I got to read that book. It's a really good book.
Yeah, I just finished it, so hurry up, dude.
All right, so this is just the beginning of the review. Fill up the comments section. We want to hear your big bangs. We want to hear your favorite quotes, what you liked, what you didn't like about the book. Share your thoughts with us and each other. And as always,
stay relentless and keep doing next level shit.
Keep doing next level shit.